What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 17 of season 2 of Hit the Books. The whole crew is here and ready to talk this week of sports. This week, we're discussing the latest trends and news in the world of sports betting and offering our analysis and picks for the upcoming games. We'll also be taking a look at some of the most interesting matchups on the schedule and sharing our thoughts on which teams are poised for victory. So tune in and let's get ready to gamble on some sports and introduce my co-host Ace, Huff, and Mackie. Ace, let's start off with you this week. What's going on?
First off, just want to say happy to be back. Missed last week. Like Jesse said on the pod last time, I had to coach tomorrow's NHL Stars. So, I had a good game there in the high school world, but we're really focused on the pro sports here. So I'm ready to talk about that. Tough week really on the books for the boys. I think you'll probably get to that. But if I can use a good analogy to compare my season so far, it's like Tom Brady just falling flat on my face. But the good thing is, like the GOAT, we have a chance to rebound when it matters, and he'll be there when it matters. So we'll ride that Bucs train all the way. And ready to talk some good week of football here.
Absolutely. Good to have you back, Ace. Huff, let's move over to you. Happy to have you here another week. What's happening?
Yeah, not much coming from me. Tough week last week in the NFL, but looking to move forward, put that one behind me, and keep moving. So I don't know about you guys, but not my best over the past, I don't know what week that was, week 14, but definitely looking to put that behind me. So I'm ready to move forward and talk week 15.
Good stuff there. You said it, Mackie. Last but not least, week 15. Some games Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Whole weekend of football. What do you got for us?
Yeah, we definitely got a nice week this week. Looking at the slate early, a lot of key matchups. You're getting towards the end of the season, so you got 4 weeks left. These teams are making playoff pushes, so games get intense. Lines shrinking a little, and we get some really good football action. So we're pretty excited for these next 4 weeks heading into playoffs.
Yes, sir. Playoffs coming up soon here for the NFL. But let's go over some headlines from around the other leagues. Let's start off in the NHL. Maple Leafs forward Mitch Marner is hot right now with a 23-game point streak as the Leafs take down the Ducks on Tuesday night. Samsonov gets his second straight shutout, and Toronto improves to 12-0-3 in their past 15 on Tuesday night. Another hot team in the league coming up here on the East Coast with the Bruins, also hot. They need to pick it up again here. Ace not winning our bet for us, -1.5 the other night. What do you guys got? Anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, tough game really on the card the other night. I think all the picks I really set in the chat. I had a good night last night. Been doing pretty well in the NHL, but the Bruins couldn't cover that puck line. Islanders getting a very Islanders-esque goal with a deflection in from behind the net off of a defenseman to force overtime in that one. Really thought the Bruins would have sealed the empty net goal if they had the chance like they've been doing all year. But hockey's been good. We also hit on the Sabres the other night. We've been cooking up some heaters there on the ice. I don't know what you guys got about the chill right now.
Yeah, we're just kind of staying afloat in the NHL right now. We're up like 3 units, something like that. We keep going 1-1, so we're kind of breaking even. We're just waiting to, we're due for a run right now, so we'll break off for a 2, 3, 4 night in a row profit. So just wait on it.
Just like we did at the beginning of the season. Really, I think we went on a 9-game heater there. Maybe start off the season somewhere between 7-9-0 or 9-1 or around there.
I think we were for sure 6-0.
Yeah, we were at least 6-0 at one point.
Yeah, good start there. So we'll look back to get to the ways. We've been some of the hot teams I've liked. I've really liked that over in Chicago games lately. They can't really stop anyone, but they still got the snipers. That ended up coming through last night. I know the Sabres.
That was a good play. I was watching that game.
Sabres are wagons right now.
What you saying, Huff?
I was watching that Capitals Blackhawks game because it was on for Ovi's 800th goal. I guess we can just kind of lead into that, but that was a good
on
pick.
ESPN
you said that
too.
Over 6. It was in the what? It was 4-2 going into the second intermission.
Yeah,
it was 7-3 final, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. They scored immediately in the third. That was a good hit.
I was surprised that the line was sitting at over 6 -110. Usually you see that extra half a goal there. That's why I loved it so much because you could push essentially.
I took the over in the Avs
last
Flyers
night,
game.
Right, that backdoor cover by the Flyers and the final 2.5.
That's brutal. That's a brutal loss.
Yeah.
I wish
Missed there.
the Avs could have got an empty netter late in that game because I needed over 6 and I could have pushed. It was the last leg of a
Yeah.
parlay.
Or you needed the Flyers to finish the
Tie
comeback.
Tie it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what else? What else was doing well yesterday? I know the Panthers have kind of been getting a little hot. I like them at home. They hit. Canes have been really nice. That goalie Kochekov.
Yeah, he's good. But one thing about
He's good.
the Panthers is I don't like betting on Bobrovsky this year.
I agree.
He's a sieve, dude. Every time he's playing, I mean, he did play last night and he had a shutout, so he did play really well. So it doesn't really help my case in point here. But dude, he's got a losing record this year, and I think he's feeling the pressure of Knight coming up behind him and taking his spot, and he's just not dealing with it well right now. So I've just been staying away from games with him, but I did a live bet. I did a live bet Florida -1.5 after the first period last night, so that was a nice hit. But
They finished 5-0.
4-0, I think. I don't know. I just know it was a shutout.
I think it was 4.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
It was
Spencer Knight
4.
to really reclaim that role. I mean, it's strange to me that they still split and they've held on to both goaltenders with the age catching up to Bob too.
They're honestly, in my opinion, they're just waiting for Spencer to hit that stride where he's actually like a top 10 goaltender in the league, something like that.
Mackie, you're pretty good at spotting those goalies. Like, I mean, at least you're the one that I talk to the most about this. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, you were like, "Dude, the Rangers are gonna be nice coming up with Shesterkin's gonna be the starter." Now Spencer Knight in Florida. I remember you talking about him. Obviously, these are like known goalies.
I was high on Spencer Knight because he's like my age, so I knew that kid growing up. Well, I didn't like know him personally, but like I knew of him growing up. Obviously, being around like the New England area. But yeah, he's just been a stud his entire life. That kid is.
He's a highly touted prospect too, coming into the league, right?
Yeah. He was drafted 13th overall, I think. So, I mean, any goalie drafted in the first round, he was the first goalie off the board too. So that's saying something, I think.
How many goalies have gone first overall ever?
There's
Fleury,
I know Fleury did, Luongo did, DiPietro did.
So more than you would think.
There's only a handful, but there's definitely been a few. Maybe Brodeur, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But there's definitely a few. It's very rare, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of young talent coming into the league. I like that most of it's actually coming out of America too, which is pretty nice to see. It's
America's
been a heavier
definitely
foreign split.
It would be, you know how
Definitely on the
everyone always
rise.
says, like, if you redrafted the entire league, like, who would go first? Like in the NFL, everyone always says Mahomes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
What I'd be interested to see how high like the first goalie would go if they did that in the NHL, like a total redraft. The first team that's like, all right, I'm gonna build around Vasilevsky.
So tough with,
like,
an age,
Ottinger. I'd go Ottinger right now.
Yeah, Ottinger.
I'd probably go
With-
Shesterkin over Ottinger. No matter.
You think so?
Yeah, he's a reigning Vezina.
Yeah. Dude, he's not looking like it this year.
They always
don't
have-
get me
guys
wrong.
always
He's also
have that
not. He's
Vezina
not having a
drop-off.
bad year. It's just hard. Like everyone's comparing him to last year, and when you're being compared to, he's only had like 1.5. He only played 1.5 seasons. I think that was his first full season. So, I mean, everyone's just expecting him to play at that level 24/7, and obviously that's incredibly hard.
I'd say to answer your question, probably falling outside of the top 20 though, definitely. Maybe not even in the first round.
think?
You look at some of the youth and good goaltender you can get. Yeah, Vasilevsky's game changing, but look at the team that's in front of him. You really need one of those high end guys at one of the other positions. And there's so much goalie talent around the league. You look at like Sorokin, Ottinger, Hellebuck, just to name a few. We could keep the list going
true.
on and on. You can plug and play. Goalies get hot. Olmark really standing on his head. And do you think he's a top goaltender?
Even like I was gonna say Jari, like the Penguins case, Jari. They find ways to win games with him, and I don't think he's an elite goaltender.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd
but
say probably in the
Vasilevsky's
second round.
Vasilevsky's still, in my opinion, the best goaltender in the world.
Yeah.
I think everybody would take a top scorer, though. I could probably name 20 scorers we'd take before him, and then you're not even getting into defensemen.
What do you
Like,
think?
obviously-
When do you think the first goalie goes off the board?
Like late 20s, early 30s.
McDavid's definitely first, and then all the
Cale
other
Makar is
crazy
second.
names. Yeah.
You got like Matthews, McCarr, McKinnon.
I think 1, 2
I'd
is
take
obvious.
Pasternak, Kucherov. Ovechkin and Crosby are old now, so maybe you would say they would.
Crosby would slide to like top 15. Someone would just be like,
I don't
"Fuck it, we'll
even
take
Yeah,
Crosby."
but
know, dude. He's
Jack,
like 36.
Jack Hughes, Tage Thompson. I'd take all of those guys before.
If
goalies,
they
even they're not
truly
even the
did
high
that,
end.
some team that never won would be like, "Fuck it, we'll take him."
Yeah,
Who?
but that'd be late though. I'm telling you.
Crosby.
Crosby would
Depending-
not go. I don't even think he'd go like top. I don't think him or Ovechkin would go top.
No,
two
no,
round.
because of the age.
What do they have?
They
Like
wouldn't
what do they have? 2 seasons left?
Yeah,
Why would you waste like a top pick on? Either
Like
of
I
those
would take.
guys?
Would you take Matty Beniers over Sidney Crosby in a redraft?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Because when you're at that point, it would be every single team would be
Future,
looking
yeah.
at the future. You're not looking to win now.
Yeah,
Like,
you're.
I mean, you
you're
are,
voting
obviously,
if it's for
but-
one season or for a playoff run, no. But
Well, I think at that point you'd see like all the older guys that had like 2, 3, 4 years left would just like retire.
oh
And it
yeah,
would just be it
Yeah,
would just be a
yeah.
young league, and that would probably be the
It
outcome
just
of
depends on your way of looking at it. Would you be like the Vegas Golden Knights or the Seattle Kraken? You know, you're
Yeah,
looking at the now
definitely.
or the future.
well they set that up for Vegas to be that good.
Yeah. Well, Seattle's showing that they did it right too, huh?
Yeah, it just took an extra year.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vegas going to Cup their first year was like they couldn't have obviously even planned that.
That's
or
a team
dreamed
that
of
could win the Stanley Cup every year of their existence. They have a chance this year too.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I like-
They're kind of falling
yeah, I
off
think.
right now, though.
I was gonna say I think it's their best chance actually out of the 4 years or however many years they've been. a
I don't
team.
like the goaltending though.
He's a rookie.
Logan Thompson's good. He's good, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to win the cup as a rookie. That's why it's tough.
Matt Murray.
What do you mean about Matt Murray winning the cup as a
He
rookie?
was-
Yeah, if you had Sidney
Yeah.
Crosby, like come on.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, definitely. Matt, obviously
walked
has
into
lot
a
to do with the team
dynasty.
in front of you. Jordan Binnington too, though, with the Blues.
Was he a rookie though? I don't think Bennett
yeah,
was a rookie.
yeah, he
No.
was. He came in halfway through the season because Grice was playing like shit. He was a nobody.
But there's a backup. Let's look at that. But yeah,
I
that's
hate
just-
Benner
that's a-
now.
That's some salt.
I hate
That's some
Benner.
salt in the wound. I hate the Blues, that whole franchise, and that goaltender. So
Oh my God, that was
I'll
against
throw that
you.
one.
That was against you guys too.
yeah, in Game 7 on home ice. Don't remind
Yeah, that's
me.
pretty brutal.
Yep. Sorry,
You
FC
guys
won in
thought-
my life.
You guys had to think that you had that in the bag too. I think everyone in the world thought the Bruins were going to win the cup that year.
Oh yeah, that's why Tuukka Rask is not going to get into the Hall of Fame. Probably couldn't win one on his own.
I was so hyped when the Blues won that.
Yeah, but last point on the NHL here, that Huff brought up earlier, Ovechkin getting to that 800 mark in the prime time on ESPN with
yeah,
a
we
hat
kind of
trick.
just skipped over that.
No better way to do it, really. I'd say.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Second fastest player in history to make the mark. Lots of good stuff there for Ovi at 800.
One of my boys actually brought up a good point. He said that if he finished the year in like a high 40s goal scoring total, then we'll see at the end of next year an Ovi Gretzky chase, like maybe a late chase towards the end. If he goes 40 plus and then masters it again,
it'd be late, but yeah, definitely.
that'd be crazy.
I don't think you could see it next year. What's he at
Who
right
knows?
now? What's he at right now?
He's at a good clip. I gotta check. I want to say is he above 20 already?
Well, if he's above 20, then he's not.
Yeah, he's above 20.
Dude, he'd need like a 50 goal season this year and then a 60 goal season next year.
When they originally mapped it out, they said it was going to take like around 2.5
Yeah, he
years.
has 20 goals already, Mackie, and it's not even halfway through the season.
Okay, but think about it. How many goals is he really going to score this year? He'll
40.
score.
Is he gonna put up over 50? Is he gonna put up 40, 50?
I was
Okay,
going to say
he
45.
puts up max 50. That would put him at 230. He would need 56 goals the next year to tie. Isn't it
What's the
896?
record?
896?
894 maybe?
I think it's
I don't
894.
know.
That sounds right.
Okay, so 895. He'd need 55 goals the following year if he scores 50 exactly this year.
So he would basically win the Rocket Richard and break the record in the same year if he scores 55 goals the following
I mean, he could do it because if you watch Capitals games,
He's
dude,
down.
like,
He's down 93.
yeah.
So that's 46 and a half goals per season. Remaining. So adding on to
Remaining.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already got 20 this year.
So 46 more would be 66. Yeah. So if he he'd have to put up 50. He could do it though.
I mean, yeah, because dude, if you watch Capitals games, he scores goals just because he's Alex Ovechkin. Because like goalies like tense up when they see he's about to take a shot.
What about on the power play? He's lethal.
Okay, well that's different. Yeah, but like he like there's been multiple times where he's like had a straight up shot and it's gone right through the goalie because he's like oh, this is Ovechkin. I gotta like overcommit or something.
You
and
think
Dude,
about it.
it's tough,
Dude,
man. Like, it definitely gets in your head.
I couldn't imagine if I was a goalie and on a power play and I know Ovechkin's standing on that fucking left circle and I'm waiting for it to just go to him, and then all of a sudden you don't even see the puck come past you.
The
Dude,
only
one of
thing
those-
is with that. Oh, keep talking.
One of those things get you in the face, or even the defenseman standing in front of him, you're dead.
You're not.
Ovi's office.
You're not making a save there. If anything, you're just getting hit by the puck. Every single goalie, if you're sliding over like that, there's no way. If he's going top corner, okay, good
It's already
shot.
in
You're
the
not
net.
saving it. Yeah, it's already in the net. You're just hoping that he does not pick his corner at that point. Same with like Stammer and like even like
I was gonna say
Pasternak.
Stamkos,
even like
Zibanejad,
Zibanejad. Yeah,
those are
Pasta
those other guys.
obviously. Like, dude, these guys can pick corners, and you are not stopping a one-timer at 95 miles per hour. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, definitely fun to watch, though. I'm excited to see him put the puck in more for the rest of the season.
Heck yeah, good stuff for Ovi as always. One last little thing out of the NHL. Fans at at Friday's game between the Bruins and the Coyotes at Mullet Arena in Arizona bit off a little more they could chew when a fight broke out in the stands, causing a chaotic scene that saw one participant get part of his finger bitten off.
In a college arena, too. That was a pretty good one.
So good. So good.
That Bruins player got his ass beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're a no real Bruins fan from the heart of the greater Boston areas in Arizona, watching the game at the 7,500 fan arena, so that guy's probably just a bandwagon because we're nasty.
You can't lose from the higher level in the seating. You literally have the advantage.
Yeah, people that fight.
That's embarrassing.
Like you're
done for.
You're done. It's always the smaller
Like,
people too. Like
If you're fighting the people behind you, you have to almost pull them over you because you can't fight like that.
You got to jump
have-
down a level or jump
They
up
have
a level. I should say.
yeah, they have 4 feet on you.
Literally.
Who lost the thumb? Was it? I didn't,
Yeah, who
I saw
lost
the
the
clip
finger?
of it.
Which guy lost the finger? I saw the video of the cop just totally jump over the dog pile and like slide over like 3 people's backs. It looked like it was funny.
it was like a piece of a finger. It was like his fingertip.
Yeah, tip of his
Yeah.
finger.
Nasty.
I'd rather just lose the whole thing.
Yeah, leave the brawling to the guys on the ice. Probably end better for you.
Crazy stuff out of the NHL. What a wild season there for the Coyotes at Mullet Arena. So let's jump over to little NBA. Last week we talked about the new trophy, the Maurice Podloff, as a team award, but it seems that they've redone some player awards, deciding to redesign and rename some of the trophies given out to the league, as well as adding one. The Michael Jordan Trophy awarded the MVP. The Jerry West Trophy awarded the Clutch Player of the Year. The Hakeem
Is that
Olajuwon.
a new award? The Clutch Player of the Year?
Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, that's the new trophy. Olajuwon Trophy awarded to the Defensive Player of the Year. The Wilt Chamberlain Trophy awarded the Rookie of the Year. The John Havlicek Trophy awarded the Sixth Man of the Year. And the George McCann Trophy awarded the
George
Most Improved
Macon.
Player of the Year. I got some pictures in there for you guys to look
Macon.
at. They're all pretty interesting, but
Okay, isn't it?
interesting.
I scrolled through them. Some of them look pretty dope. This is obviously like the NBA, newer league, the newest out of the 4 between the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL. So all their awards have just been Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. You look at the NHL, it's the Maurice Rocket Richard Award for the scoring leader, and the Art Ross and the Hart Memorial. So just an older league. This is something the NBA, I think they've been looking to do this for the past couple of years, and I think they got the list of guys right. I would have liked to see. I know they said what's the Kobe Bryant Award? Is that the All-Star Game MVP?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I would have liked to. Yeah, I would have liked to see maybe a Kobe one in there, but maybe Clutch Player
They
of the
jumped
Year.
the gun by
Kobe?
giving him the All-Star Game award.
I think
Maybe
they should have
the
waited
Clutch
for
Player of
LeBron
the
to
Year?
retire.
Yeah,
I
they
agree.
should.
Alright.
They'll
They should have
rename him.
waited for LeBron to retire and give him an award because obviously you can't give him one while he's in the league, but like he
you
deserves
imagine-
it, man.
As long as they don't change the logo, I'm fine with whatever they do for the awards.
Could you
to honor
imagine
the
you
past
won
players.
the LeBron James Defensive Player of the Year award?
They give it
That'd
to
be so
Bronny.
funny. Yeah, and then they give it to
And
Bronny.
he's like still in the league, like 46 years old, like Brady is. That'd be like the passing yards award being like the Tom Brady passing yards award, and like you're playing Tom, and the banner's being raised that night.
And you're Brock Purdy and you beat him by 35.
Yeah, you beat them, and you're up 35-0 at half.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's definitely interesting. I'm excited to go see that down at the Basketball Hall of Fame. I've been there a couple of times, not too far from my house. So.
Where is that?
It's in Connecticut, I believe.
That's
Mac,
what I
you been
thought.
there before?
Nah, probably closer
Yeah.
to you than me.
Yeah, definitely. But definitely a good time if you want to make the trip. Cool place to go. They even have a court built into there.
Do you know where it is in Connecticut?
I want to say it's in the middle, but let me look
The
it
middle.
up.
The middle.
The middle of Connecticut.
It is.
I guess it's not a big
no,
state.
it is basically in the middle. It's in Springfield, Mass. So like if you're from my
That's
area,
what
it's
I
like
thought,
if you go
yeah.
to Six Flags, it's also in the same area. So you have to go through Connecticut the whole way, and then right when you get into Massachusetts, it's right there. But yeah, not too far. Definitely a sick place to go to. I've been a few times. The Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, that is.
That's it. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice out of the NBA. New trophies. And that's about it. Over to the MLB, one quick little point. The San Francisco Giants and Carlos Carrera agreed to terms on a 13-year deal.
I meant to look it up when I put that in there, and I totally forgot.
$350 million.
Yeah, something like
Is that what he got? No, but I don't know. Obviously the Giants had all that money cleared up for Judge, so they kind of had to spend it somewhere.
Yeah,
and
$350
Correa is the only
million.
one left over, so $350 million goes to him. But I thought it was pretty random when he was in Minnesota, so I'm just glad to see him get out of Minnesota. I've never been too big a fan of his, even from his days back in Houston and then Minnesota. Just two teams I'm not necessarily a big fan of. So I do like the Giants, so maybe he'll kind of become one of those players I can start to root for. But that's my take on this. I just think the Giants had a lot of money and expectations cleared up to bring in Judge and all these big free agent signings, and this is what they got. They got Carlos Correa when they expected Aaron Judge.
Huff, how much do you think they had to spend extra for the trash cans?
Good bit. I got not $350 million worth because it's coming into him.
That'll be interesting to watch. I'm eager to see what my Red Sox can do with some of that cap that they decided not to spend on Bogarts. If they just extend Evers, I wouldn't be mad.
Dude, I did not think he was worth that much money. Like, I don't watch that many Red Sox games because you guys are AL, but like, that's a
I'm
lot
happy
of
we
money
didn't
for
spend
him.
that.
I feel like.
Yeah, at his age is 29, going on 30. So obviously,
Yeah, I
still in
thought he
his
was
prime.
decently older. Like,
I believe he's 30 years old. But
no, I
still,
mean like
wouldn't
he's
give him-
not 25.
Right.
No, exactly. And the Red Sox, if you remember correctly, they actually played poorly the last few years. The COVID year, they came in second to last, had a high draft pick. They took 3 shortstops in the first round the last 3 years. So, yeah, Bogey is 30. One of my favorite players, though, so sad to see him depart, but happy we didn't drop the bag on him.
You went where? San Diego?
Yeah, that's a great place to go. Does that mean Tatis is out?
I don't know. That's a really good team.
Someone was saying
No way
Tatis to the
Tatis
Yankees.
is out.
Yeah, there's however many seats in that stadium, 90% of them are wearing number 23 on the back. So I don't think he has to worry about anything actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I agree for that, but I'm saying if they get rid of him, if he never steps on the field, like his value is at his
Sure, I
highest.
mean, if he fucks up again, this is already one thing that they're like, come on, dude.
He's never on. He hasn't played the last 2 years.
Which is a shame. He's one of the most fun players to watch, definitely.
Agreed.
Good stuff there out of the MLB. Let's move over to the NFL. Some injuries to report are the Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray tore his ACL on Monday night. The MRI confirmed Tuesday morning. His season is over. He's expected to get surgery after Christmas. Very disappointing there for the Cardinals. At least he has some more time to play some Call of Duty.
Yeah, obviously I had you guys did actually too. You had a minute teaser, but I liked the Cardinals in that game. I thought the Monday night prime time, I thought Kyler was going to have a big game there. Obviously, anytime you have an injury like that in the third play, it's a whole different game. I actually almost immediately was looking for the first chance to like live bet the Patriots if I could get them on a good money line. And there was multiple times I could have. I ended up not doing it, and then in the second half, I was still riding the +3. I'm like, all right, maybe Colt McCoy can do this thing for me. I've seen him do it before, but should have pulled the trigger on the Patriots when I could. But that first half under, I'm more salty about than the Cardinals spread. So
If you knew that DeAndre Hopkins had the Patriots, you would have taken him too.
yeah, true.
You gave the
I
game
can't
to
believe
us.
he said all that stuff. What did
Oh no,
he say?
I'm saying the fumble he had, the uncharacteristic
No,
fumble
didn't he?
six that
Didn't he
literally
say?
gave us the
Didn't he
game.
say something about fantasy that was like people were giving him shit about? He was
No,
like,
I didn't see
start me in your leagues this week or something like. Who needs saved in fantasy? I play on Monday or something like that.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
against the
wanna quote
Patriots
him.
defense.
I'm gonna look
I
it
saw
up,
that.
but you guys give your takes on this. I'm gonna look that up.
The one take I have on Kyler Murray before, because we'll really jump into this with the game on the Cardinals, is I think he really, obviously he's one of my favorite players. I have the jersey, whatnot, support him throughout the year, but I think he escaped a good game against a great defense and really escaped a tough season for that franchise. Someone on air said it best the other night. I forget who the name was, but they were saying this Cardinals team, with the extension of the season, they're one of those teams that can barely survive 15 or 16 games, and now they got to play a 17th game. So, I mean, the season can't end soon enough for the Cardinals franchise and Cliff and Kyler to turn it back around. So, best wishes to him to get well soon. Fun player to watch.
Yeah, I think I don't think the Cardinals are really doing anything this year. It's you just never like to see an injury like that, especially to a mobile quarterback. So you never know what this can actually do to his game long term. So just don't like to see it.
Tough one there. In the 49ers, also dealing with an injury, Deebo Samuel, but he is expected to return from those injuries in 3-ish weeks, from a report that I saw. So pretty interesting there. Quicker return, I think, than people expected for him.
He'll be back for the playoffs. I think this is a team that still is going to make some serious noise in the playoffs. That defense, I mean, obviously, anytime it comes down to the NFL playoffs, we know defense wins championships, and this is the best defense in the NFL. They're showing it on a week in and week out basis, and Brock Purdy can just continue. Doesn't even have to do what he did last week. If you can just play an average game like Garoppolo and like that 49ers offense has run over the past 2 years and get as far as they've gotten, this defense is going to carry them to good places. And I think if Deebo gets healthy, they get guys like Kittle, McCaffrey, everyone rolling at the same time. This is a very scary team. I really like the Niners. I don't know. Brock Purdy kind of just gave me like a new spark after seeing what he could do last week. I know a lot of people are probably riding high on them, but I don't know. I think this is a really good team that you can get good odds on to go far.
I actually, I was my bad, Mackie, but my quick take on this before we get into it much more on the actual schedule. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be that bad. They can actually rest him pretty well, especially it's not that hard for Brock Purdy to hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey if need be. I've been high on this team. My buddy Beak and I actually propped them. Them and the Bucks were the two teams we're high on. Both still have a good chance to make a deep run, even though the Bucks looking ugly this year. But Niners have been high on all year, even before the McCaffrey move, and those odds just keep jumping up every week. So jump on the bandwagon while you can. Shanahan's due for one. Said it before, I'll say it again.
Yeah, imagine this team had like a good quarterback the past few years.
With Tom Brady?
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna say good because I guess Jimmy Garoppolo is not a bad quarterback, but I don't know, he's been to an NFC Championship game. He's been to a Super Bowl, and I don't know, Matt. Just think about if they had like Aaron Rodgers or like even like Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott.
Yeah, even if they had a lower guy, I'd say they've had like mid-tier. They've had mids at quarterback for sure, and they've been going a far way. So,
dude, when they wanted to bring in what's his name, or when Garoppolo went down, I wanted the Saints to figure out what they're doing with Jameis, because like let him go to the Niners. That'd be a fun team to watch.
Is Jameis good though?
I don't know. I like him. I
just
really
think he
want
makes
him to
way
be
too
good.
many mistakes for that team.
I really want him to be good.
He doesn't have a job with Andy Dalton. I don't know how good he is. I always thought he was pretty decent, but I guess not.
I think he's better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I don't know what that situation's all about, but I mean, Jameis was hurt in and out of the lineup all the first half of the year, and I think it just kind of Andy Dalton had that string of games where he definitely earned the starting spot for a couple of weeks, but then he also did enough to lose it over the past couple. So,
in my opinion, I think he's the quarterback you want in when you want the higher pick. So, they're fine with it.
I mean,
They don't even have their pick.
Yeah, their first round pick belongs to the
crazy.
Eagles, who's the just clinch the playoffs.
Yeah, best team in the league right now. But yeah, excited to touch on that more.
Yes. Let's touch on that more as we jump into our weekly NFL schedule. For Week 15, lots of good games on the schedule this week. But let's go over a quick stat here of the best NFL teams against the spread this season. The Bengals coming in as the top team this year, 10-3 against the spread. Lions behind them going 9-4. Giants also 9-4 in the Cowboys. Mackey's Cowboys going 8-5 against the spread this year. All four of these teams playing very solid this year.
Cowboys and the Lions back-to-back years killing the spread. I know Dallas started the year like 7-0 last year, and obviously Dan Campbell and the Lions were in almost every game last year with a horrible record, so they covered a lot of spreads. Just spread covering machines. Love to see it.
All right, and we have some of our first teams here eliminated from the playoffs, not eligible to make it. The first team is the Houston Texans, followed by the Chicago Bears, and finally the Denver Broncos. Not thrilled to see the Broncos in that category with Russ this season, but you guys got anything on that?
Yeah, obviously tough expectations coming in for that Broncos team. That's a team that myself and most people, obviously, with the big name signing of Russell Wilson or the trade, however you want to call it.
Let's ride.
Yeah, all the hype that was coming into this season with that team. The letdown, the injuries in and out of the lineup with the whole team, and just the underperformance with Russ. That's something that I look for. I look for that team to bounce back next season. I think. I don't think this is something that will continue on or carry on in the next year. I think this team, they have a really good defense, and I think when they get a full off season, another full summer with Russ and these receivers, I think this is a team that will make some noise next year. Obviously, in a very tough division with the Chiefs and Chargers and the Raiders out in the AFC West, but they lost Javonte Williams early on this year. They haven't really had a true running back. Latavius Murray's been in and out with them. They cut Melvin Gordon, so it's been a pretty questionable year with the Broncos. Obviously, first year under new ownership, so that happens a lot in the NFL anytime new owners come in. So I think this, like I said, I think it's a team that'll bounce back. But obviously this year, I think they're like 3-10, looking to get a nice draft pick, maybe get Russ an offensive lineman, see what they can do next year. But obviously this year, things did not go as planned.
Yeah, a team battered by injury. A lot of hype around that contract coming in, but they lack chemistry. They lack health, and I think they lack a decent play caller. So I think in offseason we'll do this team a lot of justice, and maybe we see Russ really hit the grind in the offseason for once. So expect a lot from them next year.
And with that, let's move forward into our Thursday night game. The first matchup is the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. For this matchup, the 49ers are the favorite here at -3. Their money line sitting at -176, and the over-under sitting at 43.5. Since 1986, Seattle has been a home dog in December 25 times and are 20-5 against the spread and 14-11 straight up. The 49ers are 18-7 against the spread in their last 25 games, as well as 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 games played on a Thursday, while the Seahawks are 9-1 straight up in their last 10 on a Thursday. So lots of interesting trends there. 49ers not playing well on Thursdays, while the Seahawks do. But what do we think is going to happen this week, Ace? Let's start off with you on this Thursday night.
Such a crucial Thursday night football game. Actually, a good matchup that I'm excited to watch too. Yeah, we have the news stories with Brock Purdy and then the Deebo Samuel injury. But something huge to look at is the Seahawks, who were once leading their division with potential comeback player of the year, Geno Smith, are really fighting for their playoff lives now at 7-6. A huge home game, divisional game nonetheless. If they grab a win here, there's a chance that they can get back into that hunt for the division too, sitting 2 games back of the 49ers. But at the same time, I love the 49ers -3. Such a good team, such a good roster, such a good coaching staff. I know that people might be high on Geno Smith. I have not been all year. If you've been listening to our podcast, you definitely know that I am anti-Seahawks. I think this team was supposed to be one of the worst, and they're going to fall off towards the end. Definitely big to monitor with Kenneth Walker coming back, but I think that the 49ers have their way, and the Seahawks struggle to put points on the board. I don't know where you guys lean here.
This is a weird matchup because everyone's gonna be really high on the Niners right now. Obviously, we just watched what they did to Tampa Bay, and obviously Brock Purdy hasn't had many flaws to his game in the first two weeks of his young career, but I don't know. I think it's a divisional game. It's a Thursday night game. It's a short week. A lot of people are going to be on the Niners. Everyone's going to be riding the Niners. You're going to Seattle. It's a tough place to play. We've seen it all year. People are having a tough time playing in Seattle. Geno Smith, he's a good quarterback in my opinion. I think he's having a great year. I think he's having a clutch year. I think he's making plays when he needs to make plays, and he's winning games when he needs to win games. He's falling. I wouldn't say he's falling off recently, but Seahawks are definitely falling off a little recently. I think they're sitting right outside a playoff spot after that Washington and Giants tie, so they're holding the playoff spots right now. But I think this is definitely a winnable game for them, especially trying to get back into the playoffs. Geno Smith wants this more than anybody else, I think, and I think that with the right recipe, I think that they can find a way to win this game, just steal a win from the Niners.
Yeah, I kind of lean on the same side. I think this will be a close game, a very low scoring game. But in that kind of aspect, I always like to take the points in a divisional matchup. I saw this at 3.5 earlier. Is it still 3 or 3.5? We talking? I don't have my FanDuel app pulled
I
up.
have it at 3 on FanDuel.
I have
Yeah,
it 3 as well.
I was gonna say I think it was 3.5 this morning when I checked the DraftKings or FanDuel, one of the two. So either it's moving or I'm gonna have to shop smart on this one. But if I can get 3.5 with the Seahawks, I think they're able to keep this thing close. Do or die situation, like you said, Mackie. Obviously with the Commanders and the Giants with that tie, that was huge for the Seattle team. Another big thing, Seahawks just lost to that Panthers team last week at home. I ended up taking the Panthers +3 in that game. As soon as I saw Kenneth Walker was out, like a minute before the kick, I ended up taking the Panthers plus the 3 points. I ended up winning that game outright. It was getting close towards the end, but Seahawks staying in every game at home. Tough place to play, like you said. I like the Seahawks with the points. I think, like I said, I was hyping up that Niners defense and Brock Purdy, and I think this is a team that can make a serious run. That does not mean that I don't think they're going to slip up at some point. And like you said, Mackie, short week. Rookie quarterback with a second start. Definitely going to be riding high after that win against Tom Brady. I like the Seahawks to kind of come in and spoil the party here in prime time. At least keep things close. I'll take the points. I like the Seahawks +3.
Solid analysis there for the Thursday night game. Let's jump into our games on Saturday. We got 3 games this Saturday. I got a trend for those games. In regular season Saturday games, the road team is 53-31-5 against the spread. Over the past 20 years, those teams are 10-2-3 against the spread since 2008, covering the spread by 6.5 points per game. So very interesting one there. Not used to seeing a lot of Saturday football, but let's jump into our first game, 1 o'clock. Indianapolis Colts at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are the favorite here at 4.5 points. Their money line sitting at -215, and the over-under sitting at 48.5. The 10-2 Vikings were underdogs last week versus the 5-7 Lions. The market's got it right, and now the Vikings are playing off a loss. In his NFL career, Kirk Cousins is 36-22 against the spread after a straight-up loss. Cousins ranks 5th most profitable quarterback against the spread off a loss in the past 20 years. Let's send it over to Mackie for this one, the early Saturday game. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I really think this is a nice get right game for the Minnesota Vikings. I think it's a low spread, and I think they're gonna have a lot of people on them as well. But I don't know. Vikings are wagons at home this year. They're 6-1 at home this year. Colts are kind of falling off a cliff. They're sitting at 4-8-1, and kind of their playoff chances are just diminishing. They're definitely at the bottom, looking up. Jett is gonna have a great game. I know. Stephon Gilmore, he's healthy, right? So
Yeah.
he'll have Stephon Gilmore on him, but nothing you can really do to guard that guy. All you can do is really contain him. But I think he has a really good game at home, 200-yard game, and I think the Vikings roll this game. I really think they take control and get back on schedule. This is still a good team, you know. A lot of people are underestimating them after that slip up last week, and I guess they got blown out by the Cowboys. But this team, they just gotta find their way. They have their moments, but this is still a very good football team, and I think that they can roll this week and get back on track.
Yeah, Mackie, I agree with you. What's nice is it kind of is a primetime game of sorts because it's a it's a Saturday game, but I really don't see it that way. It's a 1 o'clock game, and we know Kirk Cousins really thrives in that window. And at home against a team like the Colts, I think we can stick a fork in them. They're done after this week. I think the Vikings easily cover 4 if you want. If you're a little nervous, get them at that 3 with a little bit of a heftier line. But I love teams -3 at home. I love the Vikings this week to score a lot of points, and Indianapolis has an inefficiency of doing the same. I do think Jonathan Taylor will definitely get in the end zone and probably total over 100 yards, but it's not going to be many touchdowns for the Colts. I'll say they get 2, probably kick one through the posts, give it 17, and we probably see Kirk throw 3 and maybe Dalvin or Madison run one in. Going to see a double-digit win by the Vikings in this spot. Probably going to card the Vikings and maybe a Jonathan Taylor touchdown this week. Justin Jefferson will continue to eat as he looks to take over that Calvin Johnson single-season receiving record. I think he's like 400 yards short.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys, basically for all the reasons that you said. I think this Vikings team, tough loss last week to that Lions team. I really liked them. I ended up leaning towards the Lions late in the week. I know I ended up saying the Vikings on the pod. But that Lions team was scary in that situation, and they were the right play. But this week, I do like Minnesota. I think they cover the 4 points here and get the job done.
Can we see a team play?
Sounds like it. Vikings
A
seem to
team
be the
play.
move.
We haven't had one of those in a while. Kirk Cousins, non-primetime Kirk. Lock that in for the boys, maybe.
Stay tuned for that one here on Saturday. Next up on Saturday, we got another game here at 4:30. The Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are the favorite here at 2.5 points. Their money line sitting at -148 and the over/under at a low 37.5. The trends I got for this one are that Cleveland is 2-12 against the spread in their last 14 games at home against Baltimore, as well as 2-10 straight up in their last 12 games in Week 15. Baltimore is 12-2 against the spread in their last 14 games on the road against... Oh, I already said that. What the fuck? Baltimore is 24-5 straight up in their last 29 games against Cleveland. What do we think is going to come out of here? Is Lamar going to be able to take care of the Browns? Ace, or Huff, you want to get us going on this one? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Lamar and Tyler Huntley are still questionable. Tyler Huntley in concussion protocol, and Lamar Jackson obviously still with that PCL injury from 2 weeks ago against Denver. I don't really know who's going to be a quarterback right now for Baltimore. I am leaning Baltimore. I like them with the points here. Obviously, I'm hoping I can at least get Tyler Huntley under center. I like what the Ravens did last week, obviously, against my Steelers. I was there to watch that one. Tough, just true AFC North game, 16-14. They ran the ball. That defense obviously got their turnovers on Trubisky, forced the turnovers in the red zone. You had Roquan Smith pick him off the former Bear teammates, but I really like what this Ravens defense is all about right now, and this is a scary team. Divisional matchup. I'll take the points. I like the Ravens +3.
Yeah, Huff, I just want to tell you quick before you finish your point there. Tyler Huntley has gotten 2 straight days of practice, so he's trending in the right direction. I think Lamar's probably going to be held out. He hasn't practiced all week, and I'm guessing this team is looking at a playoff run. Probably don't want to jeopardize that. Huntley looks like he'll be good to go, though.
I'll take the Ravens +3. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll probably take the Ravens money line this week. I love them in this spot. Browns are a team that loves losing games. They'll stick in it tight, so this will be a nail biter, especially with Huntley under center. You know that the Ravens will play a lot slower, but it's going to be a lot of ground and pound from both sides. I really like.
I could look at this under too.
Yeah, I could see that. I saw a weird stat that said Watson and their OC are trying to target deep more this week. They want to really expand the playbook with Deshaun Watson. So maybe that could lead to more interceptions. Maybe that leads to more deep balls, but nonetheless, he needs to get that offense going.
Yeah, you guys said Huntley is playing this week?
Yeah.
Huntley's got 2 straight days of practice in, so I'd assume he's a go.
Alright, yeah, I kind of lean I lean Browns here. I don't really have a nice play on this because I don't really know which way I lean here. Browns are so uncertain right now. I don't know. Deshaun Watson, he's looking better and better each week. I know he's making a lot of mistakes and he looks like he's not fully back yet, but I don't know. this divisional game, you got a home game. You got a banged up Ravens team. Tyler Huntley hasn't looked good when he's been in there. He hasn't looked like what he used to in the past. I think NFL teams are kind of figuring him out now that they have film on him and can game plan for him. I think the Browns win this game. I think that they can figure it out at home. I think the Ravens are really struggling right now, even though they're getting wins, but they're getting wins by the skin of their teeth against bad teams. They're just I don't know. I lean Browns here. I don't see the Ravens winning this game. I don't think that they're playing very well recently, and I think the Browns are, even though they're not getting wins, they're trending in the right direction. I think they're getting more faith in Deshaun Watson week by week.
Yeah, what's tough to me is it's going to be a tough one to look at either way. A lot of injuries on both sides. But the thing that always pisses me off, kind of, I think I said this earlier in the year when they had Jacoby Brissett on their center. I like when the Browns stick to their identity and pound the rock with Chubb and Hunt. Those guys should be seeing 35 plus combined carries a game, and they really tend to stray away from it where they have Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson under center. I mean, if they can commit to that run game, they're pretty unbeatable.
Think about how good that run game would be if they get the pass game going with Deshaun Watson.
I don't even think you need to force that, though. They shoot themselves in the foot so often, and they fall behind the sticks.
They're not getting wins. I mean,
yeah. I just would stick to the ground game with Chunt. I think that's one of the best, the best tandem in the league. I think Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league. I'd like to see them get back to running more, is all I'm saying. But yeah, you got to get Watson going at some point. Almost a lost season, really fighting for their lives as well. So this will be a great divisional game. Another great matchup for us early in the week. Leaning Ravens money line here, but we'll see how the injury report comes out for me.
You think if the Browns win out, they get a playoff spot? 9-8.
Yeah, that'd make them 9-8. If they win out, probably, right? Because that means they could be eking out the Ravens, or the Chargers are in that tough division. The AFC East is kind of a bloodbath, and the AFC South has no second true team really to come out. So, I mean, who would you expect more? Here's a good question. Would you rather see could you see the Browns or Jaguars coming out more?
Jaguars.
Probably have an easier schedule.
No. The Jaguars don't have an easier schedule. Browns should be favored to win every single game the rest of the games this year. And I'm only saying that because they're -3 this week. This is their hardest game.
It's a good point. We'd have to look into that, but yeah.
I say the Jaguars because they have an easier chance to win their division.
Oh, I don't think either of them will end up winning their
division.
They're
not going to win their division. Yeah, I think that's kind of out of the question at this point.
But they could backdoor it, Huff.
Jags have Cowboys, Jets, Texans, Titans. That's two divisional games.
That's 3 playoff teams, and if you include the Ravens, that's 4. I mean, that's not great odds, but right.
I don't know. Interesting.
It'll be interesting to watch.
Question.
This is gonna be on the dependent on the injury report. So definitely check out our socials on Saturday for a pick from me on this game.
You said it, Ace. Good stuff there. Let's jump into the final game on Saturday, 8:15. The Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are the favorite here at -7. Their money line sitting at -300, and the over/under sitting at 43.5. The trends I got here: the Bills are 14-3 straight up in their last 17 games as the favorite. The Dolphins are 3-14 straight up, 4-12-1 against the spread in their last 17 games at Buffalo, as well as 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 on the road. Not looking up for the Dolphins here in this matchup against the Bills, but do the Bills cover 7? Mackie, let's send it over to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think this is kind of a ridiculous line, and I think a lot of people are going to be on the Dolphins as well, but 7 points in this game is pretty dramatic, I think. Bills tend to play down in games like these, and we keep teams around even when they have the chance to escape. And I know you're going into Buffalo too, is obviously not used to that. Dolphins obviously aren't used to that, but the Bills are going to let them stick around in this game. I know for a fact that they are. They do it almost every single week, unless Diggs and Allen are just on. But we haven't really been seeing that too much recently. And it's a divisional game. Both teams. What is it? Bills are kind of running away with it. They're 10-3. But Dolphins are only 8-5. But I don't see the Bills basically clinching the division after this week. I think the Dolphins can at least stick around and make it a close game and just give them a run for their money. Is 7-point spread in this game is pretty ridiculous to me.
Yeah, Mac, you said it right. You want to know what's pretty crazy to think about? If you can throw together a Saturday teaser of sorts, you could be getting at the Dolphins at like plus 13, plus 14, which would be a crazy thing to look at. But a fat money line, too. I think you really brought this up earlier in the season, not so much as of late. But the Dogs, if you take them with the points, might as well take them straight up, and it's going to be a juicy money line there. I don't know if you guys saw that clip of Mike McDaniel rocking the "It's Not Cold Enough Here" shirt. Or it's too warm or something. He was walking around Dolphins
funny.
practice in Buffalo. So hopefully
That's
it doesn't
funny.
turn into a meme after that. But I think the Bills handle them this week. Another tough game for the Dolphins. Their schedule just keeps getting tougher, huh? But I think they lose this one up there. 7 points too much though, so I don't really know there. Might come back on that Tyreek Hill prop. That really killed me last week. He had 12 targets and came down with 5 catches or something like that. That's such a hurt.
Do you see the one that landed right in front of him that he's looking around for?
Yeah, like
Right across the
he had
middle of the field.
His
He never
other
saw the
touchdown
ball.
too. His other touchdown too. The one where the first one that you cashed, the not the true touchdown, the fumble 6, which is crazy to me because it doesn't count in fantasy. But it
He gets the 6 points for the touchdown. He just doesn't get the yards, I don't think.
not in one of my leagues, and I have
Really?
yeah, and the same thing happened to me the week previous with Traylon Burks when he picked up the Derrick Henry touchdown. So I was pretty livid there, but nonetheless, it cashed your ticket. But that really took away an offensive drive that could have seen him cash that for me. So yeah, gonna be looking at maybe an over there. Honestly, two offenses that like to score a lot of points, but I think the Bills come out with this one. What do you think?
I was thinking the same thing about the over. Why is it so low? Is there some weather
Divisional matchup.
expectations?
Divisional primetime game.
Huff. It's very cold. If you watch the last week's game, what was it? Bills Jets. The offenses were stalled out to begin the game just with the cold. So cold there.
It was also snowing. I don't know if it's going to be snowing this time, but
I like the Dolphins with the points. I think it'll be a close game. I think Tua is able to bounce back after a tough couple of games. Last couple of weeks, I had ended up live betting not Dolphins last week. I had Tua. I live bet Tua under 1.5 touchdowns, so I was able to hit a nice little. I think it was like plus 130 whenever I took it. So, but I like the Dolphins with the points here. Divisional game. Despite the weather, I don't know about the situation on the over-under. I think it's like 42.5, but I definitely would lean the over with these two offenses. But I like the Bills. I like the Dolphins plus 7.
So it'd be a fun one to watch. They gave us a good Saturday slate.
Yeah, this is a good
definitely.
Saturday night
They
one.
did actually.
Yeah, Saturday is going to be a great day for football. But let's move into Sunday. Our first matchups beginning at 1 p.m. The first one being the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are the favorite here at 4.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 220 and the total at 42.5. The trends I got here are that New Orleans is 52-16 straight up in their last 68 games as the favorite, as well as 3-9 straight up in their last 12. Atlanta is 3-11 straight up in their last 14 games against an opponent in the NFC South, as well as 11-3 straight up in their last 14 games in Week 15. Very, very interesting game here. The Falcons and the Saints. I don't know what I like here. 4.5 points. Weird spread. Let's send it over to Ace.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, weird spread, weird game overall. I mean, Andy Dalton versus Desmond Ridder in a potential division-altering game, right? Someone with a negative record is probably going to come out of that division. And the way the Bucks have been trending, it's anybody's division up for grabs. What's crazy to me is Desmond Ridder. They've decided to go with him. I mean, I called this out on the pod maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago after Mariota's abysmal Thursday night performance against the Panthers. I was calling for Desmond Ridder to get his look. And now after coming out of the bye week, he does. I think the Falcons are the better team all around. I know that the Saints have a good defense, but I like the Falcons money line plus 4. You guys have been on that bandwagon all year long. More consistent team. I know that defense is going to scare a lot of people, and they think, and a lot of people are projecting Andy Dalton to have a day. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of his. I could see him getting benched eventually soon too. But yeah, give me the Falcons to stay alive. They win this one. They're at 6-8, and they're really on the tails of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I like them +4. I like them money line too, and I think it's going to be a good game. Low scoring, tight divisional contest, but give me the
You know,
Falcons to come out.
you know who's making their debut too?
Who?
Desmond Ritter. You didn't know?
That's what I said.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say that. My bad.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for it too, though, man.
Yeah, I think he has a good game. I think him and Cordell Patterson have a great game against the Saints. Especially they're sitting here 5-8, one game out of the NFC South for the lead. And Saints. I just think the Saints are falling off. I know they're only 2 games out, and this would tie them up. But I don't know. I think the Falcons keep pace with the Bucs, and I think that they up until Week 18, I think they'll have a chance to win this division. And hopefully they find a way too. So Cowboys can play them first round instead of the Bucs. But yeah, I think the Falcons definitely find a way to cover 4 points here. I think this should be
Mac,
more
we
like
sounded the exact same on our takes there. We both are on the same page.
I didn't even listen to your take, my bad. But
Literally the same exact point.
that's funny. Yeah, I love the Falcons here +4, 100%, and the money line probably.
The spread's weird because, like I always say, to take the points in divisional game. I guess I lean Falcons with you guys, but I really like the under here. I like more of a low-scoring game out of Ritter in his first start, coming into a tough place to play in New Orleans. Really good defense on the Saints, so I really like what's coming out of this game. A lot of no points. I'll take the under 43.5. I like that.
Huff, could you take under first half here?
This could be an interesting one. I wonder what it's sitting at right now, actually. I'm pulling it up.
That Saints defense is no joke. I think it's low scoring, but I think that the Falcons, they're going to stick around.
Great stuff out of our first game on Sunday. The next one we have is the Detroit Lions at the New York Jets. The Lions are the favorite in this one at -1. Their money line at -106, and the over-under sitting at 44.5. The total has gone over in 10 out of the Jets' last 13 games against an opponent in the NFC North. The Jets are 3-9 straight up in their last 12 games against an opponent in the NFC. Detroit is 1-10-1 straight up in their last 12 games against an opponent in the AFC. And the Lions are 2-12-1 straight up in their last 15 games on the road. Huff, you want to take this one away? The Lions and the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this season, go what?
I was gonna say, can I go first? 'Cause I had to pee really bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Mackie, you want to
Right.
send it over on this one?
Yeah, in my opinion, this is probably the game of the week. These are 2 teams. Lions are obviously on the uprise, and the Jets are just kind of trying to stay afloat here. These are 2 teams who are really trying to get into a playoff spot right now. Jets basically had control of their own destiny from like week 11 out. I think they were sitting at 7-4. They're now 7-6, and they're looking from the outside trying to get in. But this is a good chance for them to get a nice win under their belt. And on the other side of the field, I think Dan Campbell got his boys rolling right now. Jared Goff, Mon-Ra, Williams getting in the end zone all these times. I think these guys are playing really good football. I just like the home field here. I really think the Jets win this game, and I think the Jets are the better team. Mike White can take advantage of this defense a little, and I think the Jets can get back on track here and win this game. I think it will be game of the week, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of on the opposite side of you. I think this Lions team has been frisky. I don't know if I can bet against this Lions team right now. I really like what's coming out of Jared Goff. Like you said, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams obviously having a big game last week, getting in the end zone. I really like him, the star receiver from Alabama. And Jamal Williams, the running back, he's just been a stud over the past couple of weeks. DeAndre Swift, you can name all the guys. They've been putting up points at will. Jared Goff really starting to look like a seasoned veteran quarterback that's able to get the job done. This is a team I'm rooting for. I really like Dan Campbell as a head coach. I really like what this Lions team's going for. And in a pick'em game, I don't love that it's in New York. I really wish this was at Ford Field in Detroit, but I'll take the Lions.
Yeah, Huff, I was waiting to see your point, honestly, because I agree with you 100%. I really like how the Lions are playing, but you know what's scary to me too is if I'm on the Jets, is Mike White's health, right? And that's another guy. It's Mike White we're talking about.
I was going to say,
is
there a chance we see Zach Wilson in this game? Because if so, I love the Lions.
Yeah, I think Mike White could get knocked out of this game. A lot of flags are pointing to Zach Wilson getting another shot this week.
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco's inactive.
Mike White also got beat up by the Buffalo defense last week in the snow. He's playing against the Detroit defense this week, and it's not gonna be snowing. I just think he gets back on track, and he even said in the interview, he goes, "I'm gonna fight until I can. I'm like, these guys, you got to prove to these guys that you're gonna fight for them." And if that's his mentality, he's not coming out of no game unless he's literally medically not allowed to. So
yeah, I could see that. I saw that he was just pretty banged up, but regardless of that, even if Mike White's 100%, I'm not afraid of Mike White. I know he plays well, but yeah, that Jets defense, I've talked about how good they are before, but I still think the Lions can get it done. They just beat a very good team in the Minnesota Vikings. They're riding high. They're looking to get to 500. This is a game they need to win if they're a relevant football team. One thing that will concern you, Mackie and I were talking about it last week in the group chat, is the discipline of the Detroit Lions. They cause a lot of flags for some reason, and I think it's because of a young team, an experienced team. But
Jeff
really
Okudah, bro. Jeff Okudah is so undisciplined.
He was in what, year 2, year 3?
Yeah, I think he's year 2, but one drive, I think it was the first touchdown the Vikings scored. It was just solely on him. It was like three
but
in a row.
There's no Justin Jefferson on the New York Jets that I have to worry about. Or
that
Adam
is also
Thielen,
true.
or Dalvin Cook.
That is true.
I like the Lions this week. It's crazy to say, but they're on the road. Don't know if I'll be carding it, but if I have a lean, definitely the Lions here. Jamal Williams, the guy gets the end zone every week. Gonna have a tougher day sledding against this team, but Jared Goff got his new toys. He got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. Yeah, give me the Lions this week. Dan Campbell, the boys are rolling.
Yeah, I think the Lions are definitely the America's pick this week. I see why, obviously, but I don't know. It's something about this Jets team. I don't know.
The Lions are hot, winning 4 of their last 5. Dan Campbell getting the boys rolling. Good stuff there. Next one up is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Houston Texans, our biggest spread of the week. The Chiefs are in favor, -14. Their money line, -950, and the over-under sitting at 49.5. The trends I got here is that Houston is 1-11 straight up in its last 12. Kansas City is 15-1 straight up in their last 16 games in December. Do we think Kansas City can do 14 points? Probably the biggest spread we've seen this year. I'm trying to think if there's been any more. I know, like, we've had like 13s.
Last week,
Cowboys were 17.
Oh, that's right.
Week.
It was 17. Unreal.
They did not cover it.
Right.
They barely even went out right. It's all right. It's all right. Good teams find ways to win tough games.
Who wants to start us off
Even
here?
on their bad days. Even on their bad days.
It was a tough game against a good Texans team.
Who wants to start us off with this one?
I can start us off. Yeah, I was talking to my dad about this game earlier, actually, and he was saying you're crazy if you take the Texans, but after last week, this team can hang with some good teams. I really think that they did a really good job of containing that Dallas offense, and obviously, points per game wise, they're a top 2 offense in the league, and Texans were able to shut them down for 90% of the game until they needed to get a 98-yard drive, and then they stopped playing football. But I just think this Texans team likes to stick around, and they're good enough to stick around with a good team, especially when teams like this just like take them as a joke. Obviously, like Dallas just did, and you obviously don't have your best game coming out against the Houston Texans. They could take advantage of you guys slipping up and just your mistakes, especially after Dallas got off to a nice 7-0 start. They probably thought the game was over, and Texans just kind of put it down their throat for 3 straight quarters. So I know Ace has a lot different views on this game than me, but I think the Texans can somehow cover a 14-point spread in this game. Also, we've seen the Chiefs blow major spreads that they've had this year, like the Broncos -9. They were up 27-0, ended up winning by 6 points. Chiefs are known for not covering. I don't know if that's Vegas winning. Obviously, they're a favorite to the public, but I think the Texans cover a 14-point spread this week. Ace, tell me why I'm wrong.
No, I actually don't disagree with your point. I was just gonna tell you, don't overrate a a weak team just because your Cowboys struggled with them. Other than that, though,
I will admit, type bias a little, but just feeding my point.
I was higher on them at the beginning of the year. The thing is, this team has really fallen apart in front of our eyes. I know that we all saw the writing on the walls, but Dameon Pierce is out for 3 to 5 weeks now. Their only life on offense. They didn't have Brandon Cooks or their number 2 receiver, who's slipping my mind right now, is it Dorsett maybe? But they had Chris Moore leading the way. I don't know who the running back is, Rex Burkhead. And they're splitting snaps between Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll, who's a tight end now. I mean,
Jeff Driscoll's playing some good football.
Yeah, I mean, I'd call that a fluke if we've ever seen one, but I've been wrong before.
I can't say that with a straight face.
I'm not taking 14 points. I really am not. Maybe I will because it's like a college. This is like a college game. It's like Alabama playing a team from like, I don't know, a bad Big 12 school, right? But
West Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the Chiefs with 14, but I'm not going to take that. Definitely not. I'm probably going to look more into a Chiefs team total over, or Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 touchdown passes. That's something more of my appetite. But like I said before, without Dameon Pierce, I don't understand how this team's going to do anything, and they really can't stop anybody. Oh, lock in this actually, Isaiah Pacheco to get in on the ground. I've been riding rushing touchdown scorers, anytime scores against the Texans all year because their defense is terrible. So Isaiah Pacheco leading ground back. We saw Jerick McKinnon steal the show through the air last week, but I think they're really ground and pound against a bad weak team. So Huff, what do you got to say on this?
I like Isaiah Pacheco too. I think he's a little he gets fucking yards when he needs to.
This obviously, anytime there's a spread this big, it's so tough to call the game. One thing I'm actually looking at in this game for the Chiefs I do like the Chiefs in this game, but I just kind of am looking at it like I don't overthink it. I know it's a big number, but I like the Chiefs first half -7.5. I think this is kind of like a game last week in the Denver Broncos game. They were up, 28-0 at one point, and obviously they let Denver come back in that second half. A couple turnovers here and there against a pesky defense. I think the Chiefs are able to get up to an early lead, at least be up by maybe 10 or more at half. If the Texans decide to come back or maybe hang things close, maybe backdoor cover that 14. I think it comes in the second half. I don't think it's necessarily a situation where the Chiefs just continue to pull away. But I could see the Chiefs cover this 14 points. So I necessarily wouldn't lean Texans. I'm more leaning on the Chiefs -14, but I really like this first half -7.5.
I like that, Huff.
Yeah, Huff, I love that. I love that a lot. I didn't even think of that, but I think you're right with the not overthinking it here. I might really be on the Chiefs -14. I think they pummel them. I don't see how is this Texans team going to score points?
How are they going to score points last week against a superior Cowboys defense?
Dameon Pierce played last week, no?
Yeah, but he had to get hurt in the middle of it.
No, at the end. Without him, and I don't know, that was a trap game. I told you it was the Battle of Texas. So I mean, the Chiefs don't have that riding on their plate, so. No, I think that's just I really don't see them scoring many points.
I don't think I won't be taking the -14.
Yeah, that's something I'm also gonna say. I'm not taking this game. It's for the sake of conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it. I just kind of look. I might take that first half -7.5. I've taken that a couple of times this year with the Chiefs. I took it against the Rams earlier on when the Rams were pretty heavily struggling. The Chiefs when they're hot, they come out really quick. They score, whether it's field goal or touchdown. They score points on most of their drives to start games when things are going and clicking with Mahomes and Kelsey and the boys. I really like that. I like the Chiefs in this game. Like I said, I lean Chiefs -14, but I like that first half.
My favorite plays are going to be Pacheco touchdown, Mahomes maybe over 2.5. That's probably my third favorite, and the second favorite is Chiefs team total here this week. I do like Pacheco a lot to get in the end zone. This will be. I like watching the Chiefs roll, so this will be a fun one to watch for me.
Very good stuff out of that game. A lot more action from you guys than I expected from that one. But let's jump into another 1 o'clock game here. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Chicago Bears. The Eagles the favorite this week at -9. Their money line sitting at -400 and the over-under sitting at 48.5. Chicago's 3-18 straight up in their last 21 games when playing as the underdog. Philadelphia is 16-1 straight up in their last 17 games when playing as the favorite. and Philadelphia is 13-1 straight up in their last 14 games played on a Sunday. Very, very hot this year, as we know. Let's send it over to Ace. Ace, get us going on this 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough 1 o'clock game to watch. I know Justin Fields has really played some good football this year, but coming off that injury, I haven't been as high on the Bears lately. And they're running into the buzzsaw, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they just clinched the playoff berth already, and they're looking to lock up that division with the Cowboys right on their heels. But I think that they definitely get it done here. 9 points is a lot. Not as much as 14, obviously, but I like that a lot. This is another game where I don't see the Bears being able to do much. The Eagles defense matches up perfectly for what they like to do. When Hurts rolls around, when Fields rolls around and finds those receivers, there's elite DBs back there to grab the ball. And when he tries to run, there's actually some good players on that defensive line. And we know what they can do on offense, especially against a weak Bears defense. I think the Philadelphia Eagles roll this week. Miles Sanders has been playing some of the best football of his career in a contract year. So, same story as the Chiefs here. I'm going to ride by that same alibi with the team total. Look at the spread, probably not take it, and then their lead rusher to get in. I don't think anybody's going to be on the Bears, but I'm eager to hear what you guys have to say.
I actually kind of am leaning Bears. I think Justin Fields is able to keep things close. I've been fading this Eagles team pretty frequently with the spreads, and I don't know they're against the spread record, but I haven't taken it every week. But some of these games where they get these really big spreads, I took the Giants last week plus the 7 points. That obviously got burnt. They didn't even win by, I think the Eagles won by 20 or more, but I don't know. I like the Bears plus 9. Soldier Field, tough place to play. I mean, it's not necessarily one of the ones you think about, but this is a game where I think the Eagles aren't necessarily overlooking the Bears, but a lot of people are overlooking this Bears team. You're going to see a lot of money on the Eagles this week. I think this Eagles team clinching the playoffs, first team, for good reason, but I don't know. I think that 9 points is just a little too much. I like the Bears.
Yeah, I can't find myself to bet against this Eagles team anymore. After week they cover spreads and just murder teams. Dude, every time the Giants got points last week, Jalen Hurts just went downfield right away, and it was too easy. This offensive scheme that they're running is just tearing these defenses apart, and the Bears are not going to be any better. I can promise you that. So
it's such a stacked team with such a weak schedule, you know.
Yeah, it's also the weak schedule. But I don't know. This team is very good, and although I'm not gonna take the 9 points because it's a little too much, especially in Soldier Field. But I would not. I definitely lean the -9. I just cannot bet against this Eagles team until they prove me wrong. They're elite. They're the real deal.
It's going to be interesting to see what the weather report there is at Soldier Field, though. That could have a big impact on the game. We've seen them beat the San Francisco 49ers earlier in the season with some weather on their side. So that would be the only reason I'd stay away from it. But I do think the Eagles get the job done.
Philly's 8-5 against the spread. So winning, but Philly.
Yeah, but I feel like that's been they've been winning more recently against the spread than
last week they covered. I'm trying to think of who they played the week before. Tennessee they covered.
I'm gonna look
at the Eagles last week.
They covered against Dallas too. Yeah, they beat the Giants by 20. They beat the Titans by 25. That Packers game they won by 7. That was prime time. And then before that that was when they had the Colts and the Commanders. They rough 2 games, but these last 2-3 weeks they've been definitely the best team in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Good stuff out of that 1 o'clock matchup. Our next one up is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers the favorite in this matchup at 2.5 points. Their money line sitting at -152, and the over-under sitting at 37.5. The trends I got here are that Carolina is 3-15 straight up in their last 18 games played in December, as well as 14-15 straight up in their last 19 games played on a Sunday. Pittsburgh is 15-3 against the spread in their last 18 games against an opponent in the NFC South. What do we think is going to happen here, Huff? We're going to send it over to you. the hometown team in Carolina this week on Sunday. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously we don't really know what the quarterback situation is going to be for the Steelers. Kenny Pickett going down last week with a concussion, and Trubisky having to come in, throwing the 3 interceptions, having a terrible game. Obviously, Steelers ended up losing that game by 2 to a tough division rival in the Baltimore Ravens, kind of killing our playoff hopes this year. Not saying we really had too many expectations for the playoffs this year, but new week, this team's headed to Carolina against another team that's weirdly and very unexpectedly has their eyes set on the playoffs in a weird situation. If a lot of things fall their way, they're not necessarily out of it with that division and the way things could fall. But Carolina's a tough team. I'm obviously going to say I like the Steelers, but if Trubisky, I would advise everyone to stay away from this game. I don't like, especially if you think the Steelers, because you don't know what's coming out for under center for the quarterback position for the Steelers. So I really don't like this game. I'll obviously be watching it, but I don't know what I'll be taking on this one.
Yeah, Huff, it's a tough spot, and without Kenny Pickett, who I've actually been pretty high on last few pods, we've talked about the Steelers, and they just lost to a tough team, especially without Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's a brutal home loss, really crushing blow to your playoff hopes, even though they technically are still alive, like the Browns, like we mentioned. But the Panthers have a lot more to play for, and they're in their home stadium. I think with the question marks leading around the Steelers, it leads me to lean Carolina. They're playing great under that interim head coach, and yeah, they're looking to make some noise and make themselves relevant and respected around the league. Not going to bet this game, but the over under 37.5 so low. I don't think there's many points on either side, but I could be wrong. I'm staying away from this one for sure, but I think that the Panthers, a lot more on the line for them in their home stadium. I'm going to give them the edge with all the injury woes for the Steelers. I see Freiermuth and Najee Harris also dealing with a questionable tag, so not at 100%.
Yeah, I'm on the same. I'm on the same side as you here, Ace. After last week, this Pittsburgh team just can't be bet on right now. Definitely, especially with Trubisky coming in making so many mistakes. You're just not a quarterback you can trust in any situation. With that being said, the Panthers team that's kind of rolling right now. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They're looking. What are they? A game out of playoffs right now as well. A game out of that division as well. So, Sam Darnold's coming in. He's getting wins. He's putting points up on the board. The defense is obviously still playing well. The whole team has a lot of confidence right now, and they're on their home field this week. Pittsburgh, honestly, I don't even know if they want to win games right now because they're not really looking at getting to the playoffs. And obviously, there's no lottery in the NFL.
Yeah, there's
so
supposedly a chance we see Mason Rudolph in this game.
Yeah, see, Steelers season is done. I just don't think there's much going for them. Sam Darnold's going to have a tough time throwing the ball, definitely. We got TJ Watt pressuring, and that defense is no joke, obviously. But, you match up the Carolina Panthers defense against that Steelers offense, and, I'm giving the Panthers the edge all around in this game. And I think they can cover 3 points, especially with the momentum they have going right now.
I'm a big Donta Foreman fan. I think he has a pretty solid game and finds the end zone this week.
And I think he has a lot to prove, coming in right behind Christian McCaffrey, and you put up the numbers that he did the first few weeks that he was gone. So, he definitely had a chip on his shoulder about that. I wanted to prove how good he actually is.
A career backup really finding a home with the Panthers. I think a lot of people are finding their home with the Panthers, and Sam Darnold's proven to be the most competent quarterback they've had to date. So that'll be a good game to watch. Low-scoring slugfest, old-school traditional football. A lot of ground and pound and defenses eating. Maybe a pick from both sides. Tough to bet on the Steelers' signal caller to throw one because you don't know who's going to be behind there and if he sees the whole game. But I could definitely see Sam Darnold seeing a little bit of ghosts with that Steelers defense, but eking out a win at his home stadium to stay in the playoff race in that abysmal NFC South.
Yeah, I like a lot of guys on that Panthers team. J.C. Horn, Brian Burns. So this is a scary Panthers team that could make a little bit of noise towards the end of the season.
Huff, who did you take here? Sorry, I didn't hear.
I'm obviously not gonna take the Panthers.
But who do you lean? Do you lean Panthers?
I would say I'm not betting the Steelers, so I would say the Panthers. I think win this game. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not expecting you to take them, but
a lot better games this week on the docket.
For for sure. Not sure what to think about that Steelers-Panthers game. Tough spread there, 2.5. But let's move forward to our final 1 o'clock game. The Dallas Cowboys at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Cowboys are the favorite here at 4.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 220 and the over-under sitting at 47.5. The trends I got here are that Jacksonville is 0-20 straight up. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Jacksonville is 1-21 straight up in their last 22 games against an opponent in the NFC. Dallas is 10-1 straight up in their last 11 games played in December. Mackie, on this one, what do you think about this? 4.5 points in your Cowboys' favor. I think they might be able to get it done. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough game. That's a crazy stat. They're 1-21 in their last 22 games against NFC opponents.
Yep.
I mean, I know they've had a pretty rough stretch these past few years, but still pretty crazy.
That's
to think
rough.
About. Yeah, but with that being said, I think this is definitely a different team, especially these past few weeks, than what we've seen these past few years. Trevor Lawrence is definitely finding his stride with this team. He's where he needs to be. He's the #1 overall pick, and he's definitely he's starting to show signs of being a franchise quarterback. And this team's winning games because of it. They had a nice blowout win against a divisional opponent last week, a divisional leading opponent in the Titans. This team just looks good, and I think that they have a lot of confidence right now. I know they're not really looking at a playoff spot. Like we said, they have to win outright, and still would need a little help. But I don't know. They're not really playing for playoffs. They're playing for their future right now, and they're playing for what they can build as in like terms of chemistry and stuff like that. So a 4-point spread is not easy for Dallas in this game. I know it's a bounce back game for them after basically almost losing to a 1-11 team, but they're not gonna. They're definitely gonna have their hands full this week, and Dak's really gonna have to figure it out and get this offense rolling back to where they were a few weeks ago if they want to be able to cover a spread here and even get a win. But I do think that they can cover a 4-point spread. It's gonna be a closer game than a lot of people than I would expect, but I think they can cover a 4-point spread.
I didn't notice Ace was away. I'm kind of on the opposite side. I know this Jaguars team, I've been kind of on and off of them all year. This defense is a very good defense. Not very good. They're a pretty good defense that's able to stay in games like this. Obviously against a high-flying Cowboys team. Obviously last week against that Texans, they struggled against a Texans team that obviously is 1-11-1 or whatever, 1-12. I don't know. I like the Jaguars getting points at home here. I'm going to take the 4.5, whatever it is. But I don't know. I like what Trevor Lawrence is doing. Christian Kirk starting to use that offense. ETN is starting to take another stride in his ability in the NFL and showing chemistry with Trevor Lawrence carrying over from Clemson. Obviously, that's the reason that they went with them too. I like this Jaguars team, and that's nothing against this Cowboys team. I've picked them to go pretty far in the playoffs. Obviously, I always say it's going to end up going. How far I think the Cowboys will go will come down to who I see they play in the first round. But I don't know. I like the Jags +4 here. I don't know why. I just think this Jaguars team is able to stay in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. We've actually been pretty high on the Jaguars this year. I think our teams put them on the card a decent amount. I hit on them money line last week. They really slaughtered the Tennessee Titans, but I know it's a divisional win against a division leader, but that's a very different team than this Dallas Cowboys team. And the Cowboys really had a letdown game this week and squeaked one by. Actually, a good thing to have during the season. You can win the tough ones even if it's against a bad team. But I love the Cowboys giving only 4 points here. I know Evan Engram ate last week, going to like 11 receptions for 150 and 2 touchdowns. You're not going to see that against the Dolphins.
I picked him up off a waiver wire in fantasy and absolutely stole my game.
I thought about it too. He's got the talent. I mean, he was drafted to do that. And Lawrence is a great guy to do it for him, but we know that Titans' pass defense is terrible. I like Dallas a lot here, -4. I think they get back on track. We were kind of touching on the Jacksonville playoff chances earlier, and with a matchup like this, it kind of might close the book on them. I think Dak and the boys get going against a weak Jaguars defense. See a lot of points put up on the board by Dallas. Getting T.Y. Hilton into the mix, you'll see him getting some reps this week. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm riding with Mackey's Dallas Cowboys here, -4 for sure. That T.Y. Hilton signing is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Can he still move?
I didn't see that
Yeah,
coming.
he'll be on the outside opposite CeeDee Lamb. You'll get Gallup in the slot.
Hasn't he had like 5 surgeries in the past year?
Apparently, he
2
moves
years?
better than Odell Beckham Jr. Probably costs a lot less too, though.
Four and a half points for that game. The Cowboys in Jacksonville to wrap up our 1 o'clock slate. Let's jump into the 4 o'clock games. The first one up is the Arizona Cardinals at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are the favorite in this matchup at 2.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 142 in the total, sitting at 36.5. No Kyler Murray for the Cardinals. The trends I got here is that the total has gone under in 11 of Denver's last 13 games this season. Arizona is 1-9-1 straight up in their last 11 games against Denver, as well as 11-3 straight up in their last 14 games played on a Sunday on the road. We'll send it over to Ace to start our 4 o'clock slate off. Ace, what do you think about this one?
If I have to tell my listeners one thing, it would definitely be stay away from this game. We don't know who's going to show up with Brett Rypien behind under center for the Broncos. Colt McCoy for the Arizona Cardinals. You really can't project too much out of this. If anything, you could really roll with an under maybe. But at the same token, they might be surprising you with some less game planning. Mackey alluded to that with some of the quarterbacks earlier, like Tyler Huntley. Not much of a buck on Rypien. And two good defenses, too. I mean, I know the Cardinals is an elite defense, but the Broncos more so. They're going to give Colt McCoy fits like he had against the New England Patriots. I like the under in this, if anything, but I'm going to stay away from this game. I don't know if you guys actually have a play on this one.
Yeah, I actually
couldn't. I couldn't agree more.
I think we're all on the same page. Yeah, I just don't like anything in this game. It's just so many uncertainties. There's no reason to give out a play.
This is just like, obviously, like you said, Brett Rypien, or however you say his name, and Colt McCoy. If anything, I would maybe, if you really want to play on this game and you for some reason really want to watch this game, I would lean to, you kind of maybe said an under. I like a Cardinals team total under. This Denver defense has shown the ability to keep teams to low scoring numbers, and the offense has obviously been in games all season long. They've just haven't had the ability to win or put up the points to win these games. So I definitely would lean maybe a Cardinals team total under. Maybe my first half under makes an appearance for this one. It probably will be like fucking 16 or some weird number. So I'm actually curious to see what I can find on this, because you said the full game is sitting at 36?
36.5 is what I have.
It's probably going to be 17.5. It'll be some weird shit because they know these teams suck. Hold on,
Probably 16.5 to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I have 36 where I'm looking at. Oh, I don't have the half posted yet.
Yeah, I just don't like much in this game. I don't even have an input on it. I don't even really like the under because I feel like turnovers are just two teams that are out of the playoffs that can just maybe heave it downfield, try to get a spark or something. I don't even know, but I just don't like betting on two teams that have no real reason to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a good matchup there to start our 4 o'clock slate off. Let's jump into the next one. Ace's New England Patriots at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are the favorite here at -1. Their money line at -110, and the over-under sitting at 44.5. The trends I got here, the total has gone over in 13 out of Las Vegas' last 15 games against an opponent in the AFC East. New England is 9-3 straight up in their last 12 games against Las Vegas, so playing well against the Raiders. Ace, starting it off with you here, your Patriots. What do you think?
Patriots really in that part of the season where it's do or die, getting a big win last week on Monday Night Football, and now the head coach gets to face his former assistant with Belichick versus McDaniels. I know I've been high on the Raiders and the talent they have on that side of the ball, but Derek Carr has struggled tremendously. Now he gets to go up against the only team in the league with two pass rushers over in double-digit sacks, with Josh Uche grabbing 3 the other night, really coming into his own alongside Matthew Judon. I know they have Dietrich Wise and now Christian Barmore coming off the IR to help bolster that pass rush. And then the stunning rookies in Jack Jones and Marcus Jones really making a name for themselves alongside Jonathan Jones. So that Patriots defense is ready to roll, ready to eat. Ramondre Stevenson will be something to monitor. Same with Jacoby Myers, Devontae Parker, some bigger names on the Patriots offense that need to get going for us to get points on the board. But Mac Jones really, if you guys watched that game the other day, was giving his piece of his mind to Matt Patricia. So maybe they'll start throwing the ball, airing it out a little bit more. I liked how they used Hunter Henry on Monday night. He looked good, but I like the Patriots to grab this one. I'm going to take that money line for sure. Basically a pick 'em. I bet you that line goes more towards a pick 'em. But yeah, with Belichick against his former coach, I think that defense will control the whole game like they've done all season. Patriots will stay in the hunt, go to 8-6, and really contend for a wild card spot.
Yeah, Ace two. I feel like this is your two favorite teams in the league right now. So, going head to head, obviously you're in Las Vegas, could be a tough game for your Pats, but I don't know. I think this is you got the Raiders rolling right now. Pats look pretty good too, though. I think this Pats defense could be a tough matchup for Derek Carr and the boys. Obviously, Devontae Adams is going to get his catches and he's going to make his connections, but I think Matt Judon is going to be a tough time for Derek Carr on Sunday. I think this defense definitely carries him this game. I think it's more of a low-scoring game. I don't know. Mac Jones has looked pretty good. He's looked more Tom Brady-like with the checkdowns and just moving the ball downfield and finding ways to put points up on the board. I mean, this team looked, although it was against Colt McCoy and not Kyler Murray, this team did look good the other night against the Cardinals. And, if they want to make the playoffs, these are games that they have to win. So I think that they can figure out a way to get this win, even on the road. I think it's a very close game, and they'll have to make some big plays. But I think overall this defense will find a way to carry them to victory in this game and keep them afloat in the playoff push.
I just want to see Mac Jones air the ball out more. He does better when he gets the ball downfield rather than
he
those
wants
dump offs.
to.
Yeah,
he wants to.
That's what I was
your
saying.
Fucking offensive coordinator is
Matt
brutal.
Patricia. Oh, probably one of the most hated guys doing, along with Kyrie Irving and Shane Bloom or Chaim Bloom, however the hell you say it.
Why did they take him back?
Because Bill Belichick, I think he's realized that it's wrong, but if he fires him now, then Bill's wrong, and Bill's never wrong, right?
That's true.
But that's his boy. He loves bringing people back. He just put them in the wrong role. They're figuring it out as the year goes on, but like I said, Josh Uche and Matt Judon are going to control that game. Really, really depending on that defense. Nick Folk probably going to be the leading scorer. Maybe this is a game where we go with that over 1.5 field goals, but Huff, I'm eager to hear what you have to say about these Patriots and Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, that the Patriots, as soon as that Kyler Murray injury happened, I was looking for a chance to get at them. I thought they had a really good chance to win that game. Obviously, ended up doing so, covering by a heavy margin. I don't know what the exact final score was, but
it was 28,
Patriots looked
14, 28-13.
Yeah, so they came out. They looked really good on Monday Night Football, did their job, and they're obviously still in a playoff hunt. Another team in the AFC still in a playoff hunt is these Vegas Raiders. Tough game last week for the Raiders on what was their Thursday night against the Rams with the Baker Mayfield comeback, and the Rams ended up winning that game. I don't really know what I like on this game. This is a very tight game. Really, this is gonna be one of those ones I really want to watch. I don't know which way I'm leaning. I probably am gonna lean for the Raiders, maybe in a bounce back spot, but obviously I didn't really notice the narrative that you said about Belichick against McDaniels and against his old coach. So that's something that I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be betting on that from a Raiders standpoint, but I don't know. I like the Raiders in this spot at home. Long flight from New England to Vegas, and I think the Raiders maybe control this game for a little bit, but I think it's going to be a very good one.
Very curious to see what goes on in that game over in Vegas. Another 4 o'clock game we got here is the Tennessee Titans at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers, the favorite here at -3. Their money line sitting at -152, and the over-under sitting at 47.5. The trends I got here are that the Chargers are 11-2 straight up in their last 13 games against Tennessee, as well as 9-2 straight up in their last 11 games when playing at home against Tennessee. Game out in LA here at 4:30. Huff, you want to send us? Huff, you want to take over this one for us?
Yeah, I can get us going on this one. Obviously, two pretty good offenses in the AFC. We have the Titans and the Chiefs. Titans have kind of struggled over the past couple of weeks, running into a pretty high-flying Eagles team 2 weeks ago. And this Chargers team has been kind of on the up and coming over the past couple of weeks after having that midseason little slump. But I like the Chargers here minus the points. I like the Chargers to bounce back here at home. Who'd they play last week? I'm kind of blanking.
Chargers won last week. Chargers had a good week last week.
Chargers beat the Dolphins, no?
Yeah, they did.
That was it. Dolphins. Yeah, I don't know. I like this Chargers team. I really like what they're doing late, and they're starting to get healthier and healthier each week. I'm gonna take the Chargers with the points here on their home field.
Mac, the Chargers a good team yet?
Let me get into
Are
it
the
real
Chargers
quick.
a good team yet?
Here's the thing. They're not a bad team anymore. You want to know why? Because
They never were. They never
I
were.
promise you they were at one point.
Did you hear my
No,
point,
they
Matt?
weren't.
Go back and watch a few of those games and tell me the Chargers are not a bad team, and you're crazy.
Just a banged up team.
But exactly, but bad
That's
because they're
what he
banged
said.
up.
Definitely not bad. Definitely not bad.
Well,
definitely not
getting to
bad.
my point.
Look at where they are in one of the toughest divisions in football.
Supposed to be. The Broncos suck. The Raiders are mid.
Because the Chargers are good and they
It's
sun
just
them.
been what it's been the past 5 years. The Chiefs are powerhouse.
I think the Patriots eke out that spot from the Chargers, but the Chargers are a good team, Mac. You got to live up to it. The herb is good. Maybe you need to smoke some of the herb.
I think
Okay,
I
getting
like
into
the
it,
Chargers'
getting into it.
chances to get in more than the Patriots.
100%. Because want to know why? Because Justin Herbert is healthy, and if you watch
Huff
that game
just
last
doesn't
week,
want us to get the 7th ring before him.
I mean,
well,
even if
nobody
you get
wants
in,
the
you're not
Patriots to
getting it
win
this
football
year.
games. I think everybody in the country agrees on that. But Herbert looks like he did before the season, before his injury, and he's moving like he did. He's making throws on the run like he did. He's making plays that a top 5 quarterback in the league would make, and that's who he was before his injury, and that's who this team was before. Obviously, they hit the fan with the injuries, but they're getting back to it. They're obviously still not what they could be. I think this team before the season, I had this team going 13-4. I think that was a possible outcome if they did stay completely healthy the entire season. But yeah, they look good. They're rolling. They just beat a really good Dolphins team in prime time, and Titans are sliding big time right now. Derrick Henry's not doing enough. He had 120 some yards in the first half last week, and he had, I think, under 10 if I heard that if I saw it correctly. He had under 10 yards in that second half, and they ended up getting blown out to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So this Titans team just not doing enough. That defense is pretty poverty. I think Herbert will be able to tear them inside out. Keenan Allen's back. Mike Williams is back. Keenan Allen's playing like a stud this year. Since
Mike
he's been
Williams
back.
playing like a stud these past.
I like
Both
Josh
are,
Palmer,
exactly.
too.
Exactly, and he'll go unnoticed. So you got triple
Gerald
threat
Everett.
there. You got a lot of
Austin
threats there
Eckler.
at the on that Chargers team. So they're getting healthy again. That team's getting really good again. So I really like them -3. And I think the Chargers are a good football team again.
I think that I like that -3 too. Like you said, so many weapons, getting healthy. The thing is, this Titans team proven over the years under Mike Vrabel, they can be so pesky and win games you don't expect, right? Like they're a proven playoff team. They win their division year in and year out. I know it's weak, but they rely on the back of Derrick Henry, and if they're going to have any chance this week, it's going to be through him. I think Burks and Woods might be able to go this week is huge. But I still love the Chargers here, but just scary with Derrick Henry. The guy can win a football game on his own. And Mike Vrabel gets the defense going. So on their home turf, though, give me the Chargers. I think it'll be a closely contested battle. Probably the best 4 o'clock game in the slate, in my opinion. Definitely one of the best games of the week, too, with these two teams, both at 7-6. A loss is crucial to both of these teams' playoff hopes. I know the Titans still have the division on lock, essentially, but yeah, this will be a fun one to watch. Give me the Chargers -3. I think Austin Eckler and Derrick Henry both have their ways with each other's defense, and maybe an over here too, honestly. Yeah, Chargers and the over is my pick.
Yeah, I like them both. I like both those plays, Ace.
Solid plays there, boys, across the board. Let's move into our final 4 o'clock matchup, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bengals are our favorite this week at 3.5 points. Their money line sitting at -198 and the over-under sitting at 43.5. The trends I got going for this one, that the Bucs are 2-10 straight up in their last 12 games versus AFC North teams. The Bengals are 10-1 against the spread in their last 11 games this season, 18-3 against the spread in their past 21. Bucs are 1-6-1 against the spread in their last 8 at home. Trends not looking good for the Bucks. Let's send it down to you, Huff. You think the Bengals can take care of 3.5 points, Joey B?
Obviously, this is a tough spot for the Bengals. I think a lot of people are starting to write off this Bucks team. And their division, we've talked about it. It's wide open. Tom Brady knows that. This is a must-win game for this Bucks team, and I really like them in this game. I think they come home, get a win against this Bengals team. I'm going to take the 3.5 points, but I think this is a big chance for Brady to have a bounce back and statement game. I like the Bucks. I really do.
This is such a tough game for me because I love betting on the Bucks and they burnt me so long. And I said that they're still going to win their division. They probably will, but I don't think they win this week. This Bengals team is a wagon. I think, in my opinion, I think that NFC South will tighten up at 6-8 with a bunch of teams getting to that mark this week. 3 points, 3.5 points is not a lot at all. I mean, Joe Burrow's been on fire lately. He's got Jamar Chase. The Bengals are going to win that division. I mean, they're showing they're for real. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He has a great cast around him. You can't beat him. Joe Mixon's getting healthy and Samaje Perine really stepping up. And then the trio of wide receivers. Great head coach, too. I like them to go into Tampa and steal one. Not going to be an easy one, though. Won't card this, sadly. Going to be another great game to watch, rivaling that Titans-Chargers game for best one of the day. Oh, I think that I'm leaning Bengals, but my mind could change. This is such an interesting matchup. Should be a fun one to watch, though. I think there's going to be points on the board from both teams, but that Bucks team is so sketchy to bet on so far. Mackie, what are you thinking in this one?
Yeah, this Bengals team is just rolling. They're 5-0 in their last 5. Obviously, I'd say a top 3 team in the AFC. Bucks just you can't put money on this team right now. They got blown out last week by a kid who played his second NFL game of all time. Obviously, yeah, take nothing away from Brock Purdy. Obviously, he had a sick game, but this team just looks awful. 35 points in the first half. I don't care if you're playing God himself. 35 points in the first half for a good Tampa Bay defense too. It's just awful. They just have no confidence right now. The entire team, Tom Brady, they're down in the dumps right now, and I think they feel the pressure of this AFC South. These teams sneaking up on them, even though obviously they control their own destiny. I just think that this team is not built for winning, in my opinion. They're not a winning team, and they've shown it this year. Even with the GOAT, they can't find ways to even be above 500, and you're losing these close games and losing you're just losing games. And I really think the Bengals just going to take advantage. Joe Burrow's going to pull apart that defense, and they'll be able to get a win. I think they'll be able to get a win pretty easy this game.
Good stuff there, boys, to wrap up the 4 o'clock slate. Next up, we have the Sunday primetime game featuring the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders the favorite here at minus 4.5 points. The money line sitting at minus 220, and the over-under sitting at 40.5. The trends I got here are that the Commanders are 9-1-1 straight up in their last 11 games as the favorite. The Giants are 2-9 against the spread and 9-1 straight up in their last 11 games played in December, as well as the Giants are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games on the road. Let's see if the Giants can bring their current hot streak of 4-1 against the spread into December. What do we think here? Mackie, you want to get us going on this one? Your New York Giants. I haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, Monday or Sunday Night Football. What a game! Both these teams obviously tying last time they saw each other. Commanders been kind of rolling ever since Heineke came in. They were 5-1-1 or something like that. Giants are kind of on the other side, falling off. Started 7-2, I think, something like that. 6-2, and they're 7-5-1 now. So these teams are obviously trending in opposite directions. That being said, I do really like the Giants here, especially with the 4.5 points. I think this is basically a playoff game for both these teams, in my opinion. They're basically they need to win. Both teams need to win this game. You lose this game and you fall out of a playoff spot, and then you're on the outside looking in, and that's never a situation that either team wants to be in. I think the Giants have more talent all around to win this game, and I think Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, they're going to stick to their system, and they're going to be able to ground and pound and just find a way to win this game. I think the Commanders are a little overrated, and I think the Giants are definitely a better team in the NFC. I think they should be a playoff team. So I think the better team will win this game, and I think the Giants come out on top and win on the road on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like the Giants in this spot. I'm gonna take the points. What is the 4.5? I like that a lot in this spot. I think last time these teams met, that was when I took the +2 and the tie. Obviously, a +2 spread is obviously basically you're taking them to win, but in that situation, I ended up working out for me. I'm gonna take the points here with the Giants. I think they end up winning this game. Obviously, a pretty big game for their playoff determination, where they're gonna end up in or out, as they're one of those bubble teams starting to find their way with that tie that's going to end up helping them or the Commanders. So this game's going to be huge for the tiebreaker here for them. I like the Giants here, but I'm going to take the points.
Yeah, maybe we could see a team play on this, because maybe not, though, because Huff wants the points. Maybe I'll do it with you after they burnt me with that tie a few weeks ago. But I really like the Giants here, too. I think the Commanders are a fraudulent team. I know they have a bit of skill, but Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones are playing for their G-men lives, you know? If they truly want to be there, they're going to show up this week in a divisional game and really give it to a team they saw a few weeks ago. I personally like the money line here, and I like Saquon to get in the prime time. But I would be content with taking the points if we want to end up flexing this to a team play. Kind of salty that this got flexed to the Sunday night game over Patriots-Raiders, but it'll do with NFC.
I'm sick of the Patriots in prime time. Then and that's no disrespect to your Patriots. They're in the prime time. It feels like every week the past 6 weeks.
Yeah, they're usually a good prime time
Other
team.
than that,
Mac
Jets.
Jones and that
Other than
offense
that,
is
Jets
ugly.
Patriots game, I can't think of the last time they were in prime time.
Yeah, but this will be a good NFC East divisional matchup. So definitely excited to watch it. Maybe we'll get a team play out of it. Who knows? But I think we're all on the Giants here. Jesse, what do you think about this one?
I think the Giants might be the smart move here, given the points. Primetime game. It's a tough one, though. 4.5 is always a tricky spread, especially these two teams, tying, as we said, when they played earlier this season. But 4.5, it's a tough one. With that, let's jump into our final game on the slate, the Monday primetime game. In this matchup, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are the favorite here at 6.5 points. Their money line sitting at -295, and the over-under sitting at 39.5. The trends I have here are the Packers are 13-0 straight up in their last 13 games played in December. The Rams are 2-10 straight up in their last 12 games at Green Bay, as well as 13-3-1 against the spread in their last 17 in December. Going to be an interesting game. Packers have actually won 5 straight Monday Night Football games, so doing very well in their last 5. 6.5 points is pretty hefty for a primetime game, I'd say. But let's send it to Ace to take over our Monday primetime game.
Yeah, obviously a lot of people are going to be all over the Packers just because of the uncertainty of the Los Angeles Rams and whatnot, but I have a question for you guys. Do you think Baker Mayfield hype lives a little bit longer? He usually gets it rolling when he does. When he plays confident football, he looks good, especially with McVay at the helm. Any value in a money line play there for the Rams, you think, or no?
I'll get into my point after. Just finish yours up and then.
All right, interesting. I just want to see what you thought. But one guy,
I don't like it now.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw my money on it myself, but one guy I do like to have a big game, and he sees his role in the offense increase week in and week out. An offense really in dire need, especially talking about next year alongside Cooper Kupp. I like Tutu Atwell. He's a very good player, so I might be going props this week. Christian Watson, another rookie. Those rookies have really been jumping on the scene, so I'm going to be props here. You'll see my play Monday night. Can't give you an official one now, but with two teams that are underperforming heavily, can't pick a side here, and 7's too many points. I know it's in Lambeau, but Baker's been hot, so it'll be a prop game for me on Monday Night Football.
I'm actually kind of leaning on the Packers here. I kind of like them in this spot at home in Lambeau, Monday Night Football. And back to what Jesse said, I think he said the stat about Rodgers with the Packers on Monday night. I do feel like every time we see Rodgers on Monday night, he's always doing some kind of touchdown celebration or something and kind of beating a team by 13 or more. So not saying that's going to happen in this one. I think it'll be a little bit closer. Obviously, Baker's starting to get things rolling with McVay. Obviously, that performance after a 2-day stay in LA just got there. But another week with this head coach, we'll have to see what he's capable of doing in this spot. But I like the Packers in the prime time minus the points. But as far as a total on the game, I don't know if I like it to go over or under. But anytime the game's this late of the year in Lambeau, could be a weather game. So I don't know. I like the Packers, Mackie. I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty shitty primetime game. I know Packers aren't really out of it, but they're not really. I guess they're not really playing for much. They already have 8 losses, so it'd be tough to bounce back from that. On the other hand, Baker Mayfield looked pretty good with the Rams, so I don't really know. 7-point spread on primetime football is a little too much in my opinion for neither team really being good good at all. Packers definitely aren't considered a good team this year, and obviously the Rams being what they are this year, not a good team. I definitely lean Rams +7 here. I think it's definitely a lower scoring game, and 7-point spread might be a little too much here. I just lost my over-under by a half a fucking point.
That's a tough scene. I think this game we're really going to make our picks on Monday Night Football, if we even have some, depending on the week. Such a strange game. But I'll definitely be getting some props out for it. So
I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough game. That's one of the ones when the schedule makers are making the game early on in the year. They're like, "Oh, Monday night, Lambeau, Rams, Packers. This will be a legit game." Obviously, week 15.
Supposed to be a good one, and then injuries and poor play have made it a tough one.
Yeah, so that's obviously why we kind of we do this format where we kind of get on here and talk about the games, and then follow us on the social media so you can get our actual plays. Some of us, by the end of the week, obviously you hear a couple things, whether it be injuries, guys in and out, not practicing, any of these line movements. Some of us end up jumping sides, so that's something you definitely want to stay tuned to the social medias for. I know there's been a couple of us that have jumped sides, and for good reason. If you see value, that doesn't mean you have to stick to something you said. Obviously, we record on a Wednesday, so some of these games, we're talking about Monday Night Football that's in 5 days, so it's pretty hard to predict a spread that's 5 days in advance when a lot of things could change. But make sure you're staying tuned. Everything on the social media, starting to get things rolling more on the Instagram and Twitter. Definitely make sure you're sharing and liking all that stuff. So, but that's going to do it for me this week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to get week 15 rolling. I know we didn't have a great week 14, each of us individually on a card standpoint, but I think there's room to grow in week 15. Looking forward to this week. We got some Saturday NFL action, so full weekend of the NFL.
Definitely looking forward to it with the playoff push heating up. And we got the sports in the other leagues coming every night. NBA, NHL really been rocking. And then Huff and Mackey leading the way with the NCAA, both football and basketball.
Yep, it's going to do it for me. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. Like, comment, leave a review, whatever you got to do. Appreciate it all.
Yes, thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode this week. Make sure to check us out on all social media platforms, as well as our new texting platform. Have picks delivered straight to your phone. The link is available below. Make sure to check that out. And that's all I think going to do it for us this week.
We should make something clear that we're not charging for these. It's just so you can get our picks on a daily platform pretty much easily sent to you. Jesse kind of showed us it as an example before we kind of posted things. And very easy when you sign up. It will ask you for some form of payment. Jesse explained to me it doesn't charge you anything. So nothing you have to worry about there. It makes it pretty clear that everything's free throughout the process that you're signing up for it. So if you want to get our picks from that way, obviously follow us on the social medias anyway. But now just another way to get our picks sent to you in kind of an easier, more cleaner format. So definitely something you want to look into. That'll be posted all over our socials and stuff like that. So definitely going to want to subscribe to that. But yeah, it's going to do it for me, and we'll see you guys next week.
And that's going to do it for us on this episode of Hit the Books. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each and every week. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. So please like, share, and subscribe wherever you can. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our plays each and every night in the NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA, college basketball, and college football. Thank you again, and see you next week.